Okay, I think we're good. Hello, everybody. Uh, I I'm in an art mood and I want to make art. Where's my glove? There it is. I want to make art for my stream element backgrounds and stuff because right now I'm just kind of using just random space images I found on the internet, and I don't want to get any weird like licensing problems down the line, but also I just want to learn how to make more better space art. So that's what we're doing today. We're making space art. I kind of have like some experience with drawing galaxies. I mean, like last time I did an art stream, I did. I made a galaxy as one of my little test pieces, and I really liked it. So I wanna practice that more because I for some reason I'm kind of good at that, I guess. But let's do it. Hey, Scar. Okay, so I'm also gonna try to like talk while I do this, which I've never really done before. But yeah, it's a little weird trying to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, but we'll figure this out. Also, I need to remember all of my settings and my hotkeys for Ada so that I can make this better. What was the brush that I used for the stars before? It was a really good one. First off, though, of course, we're gonna need a background of just pure black, because space is dark. I don't know. It's yeah. Working with another color as a neutral tone background was a little bit hard to do before, so as soon as I put the black background in, it became pretty. So okay, so one of the things that I kind of go for when going with galaxies is that usually when you think of a galaxy, I mean, there's different classifications for galaxies. Like there's, oh, what are the actual names for them? Like I know there's spiral, elliptical, there's, is it called irregular? I think. But usually when I go and I think of a galaxy, I think more of like a spiral kind of thing, or like a mix between a spiral and elliptical. But like, I don't know. Let me try to draw something to explain what I mean. So like, this is good, guys. Oh, that's not drawing. Oh, it's because I'm in black. Oops. Why am I in black? There we go. So with a spiral galaxy, you usually have like a core center like this, and then you have some branches that go out like this, and then with specifically spiral ones, they're usually very tightly packed like this. But you can have other types of galaxy shapes. Like you could have some that are like you have the core center here, and then they have like a little S branch that's like this, and then they have two big arms that go out like this. Some that are like that. Or you have more elliptical ones where you have like a big cluster in the center, and then it like becomes a little bit more like faded out as you go out more and more and more. But a lot of galaxies kind of just do that in general, where they're very clumped in the middle, and then the density gets like less and less as you go further out. It's just I don't know, matter and gravity. It's cool. But I have some reference images of some galaxies I kind of want to just like practice with. Of course, there's Messier 94, which is the Cat Eye Galaxy. I'm gonna jump into galaxy spiral. It's gonna suck you. It's gonna give you a whirlpool. Oh, and I forgot about quasars. I mean, quasars technically aren't like galaxies on their own. But I mean, are they? I don't know. Quasars are really cool, but quasars, what you usually have with a quasar is you have some matter accretion disk from like you have like a black hole here. I'm drawing it white because okay, sue me. I don't know. They usually have like some sort of accretion disk that's like falling into the black hole like this. And then the thing with quasars is that they have an ejection line, I guess, that goes perpendicular to here. So you usually see like something like this. And then sometimes what you see with a lot of pictures, you said Quagsire? No, Quasar. I love Quagsire. But with quasars, you usually see like a lot of energy pulse, because this is a high energy like beam that's coming from basically a black hole. But usually you see like some emissions of like some spiral stuff coming out of here, or like there's like some clouds that are on here, but it's a very fast jet. I mean, this is like galaxy scale. So like one pixel in here is bigger than the entire solar system. It's a lot of matter and a lot of energy. But let's just start off and go for it. I'm just gonna draft something like, I don't know. What am I feeling today? I kind of want to do something that's like, I did this shape last time. I kind of want to do more like this angle this time. That seems like it'd be more natural for my hand. So what I usually imagine when I'm trying to do something like this is I imagine the center cluster something like this. And then I want to do, let's do a twin-tailed one. It's not as loose as other ones, but yeah, let's go something that's like here a little bit. No, I want it denser than that. I want to go like that and have that shape, but I also want this to be bigger, so I'm going to go something a little more like that. That's, yeah. And then this will end up taking up the rest of the space in this picture. Should my research on galaxies? Well, you know, I am from a different one, so, you know, I feel like I know a little bit about galaxies. Okay, so I had a brush earlier that I wanted to mess with. Which one was that? There was a really good one before. Is it this one? Let me try to favorite that one. Add that to my favorite. Is this the one? Yeah, that's the one. This makes like really good stars in the background. So usually what I want to do with like this is I want to get some sort of baseline in there. So I wanted to have like some central area here. And this is not going to be the final size of the stars. It's more just for me to get an idea of what I want. So we're going to go, what did I say? I wanted it tight like this. I wanted it more like that. And something more like this. So this is going to be like the central area where you see the star is going to be compacting. So you'll see a lot more density here, but as you go like in between these areas here, you're still going to have stars, but they're going to be way further apart from each other. So they're going to look way less dense. And then along this axis here, you're going to see a lot brighter of them because there's more stars together. Obviously in real life, like each individual star is not going to be like, the individual stars aren't really dependent on where they are in the galaxy for how bright they are, but you just tend to see them as brighter in this central area because dense. But you know, we're just making art. We're not making a real galaxy here. Let's go a little bit smaller here, and then I want to bring this down so just have an idea of what I'm working with. So I want to have an emanating glow from the center point. So let's do, I don't have like a regular glow brush, do I? Let's see, what do I have? Let's go with you. I need to get more used to actually messing with my brushes. That, oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That'll work. I'll have something in the center that's kind of like this and I'll work out with it. That's actually way too hard. I'll do something closer like this. I just want something that I can like have a little bit of a fade around there. I should turn my drawing to real galaxy. Oh, I'm gonna have a real galaxy. That'd be cool. I'm gonna make this bigger so I can have lighter drawing area, just to make this little area in the center very dense and bright, because the center is going to be very bright. And then along the sides, you want them to be a little bit lighter. And this is just going to be kind of like a little base we're going to work with. And then this will give kind of like a perspective for some of the brightness that we're going to see from the other areas. So bring this down. You can even see, like, if I bring this, like, just a little lightness here, like, you can already see a little bit of the shape forming, but of course this brush is very harsh. So maybe I don't want to use this brush. Maybe I want to use one that's more, like, painted. Let's try something like you. Do you work better? Do I like how you look better? Oh, you look way better, but you're still very strong. Use something like... Yeah, that's gonna work. The other thing about galaxies that's really interesting is that they're not really usually one color. They're a collection of a lot of colors. So, even distributed like in little patches of the galaxy, you'll see like areas that sometimes are like very green or very red. But what's funny about that is a lot of that we don't actually see that color, I guess, per se, but like it's just because of the imaging technology we kind of render it as those colors. So it's a little bit of imagination you need to take with these, but you know, this is what we do. So I want to have, oh, what should I have this color, this galaxy color? I'm gonna do probably like a like greenish tails with a bluish hue in the background. So let's do something like, let's take a blue, a nice deep dark blue, something like this. And we'll get, what was that brush that I used last time that was really good? Yes, my green and blue. Totally not inspired by, you know, my color scheme. Totally not. Just two colors I want to use. Let's use this airbrush one. Is that going to be... Yeah, this is perfect. So we'll get like a nice little hue in the back here, just as like a base to work off of. And then they're usually, galaxies are a lot like wider than you think they are. So like this will go out to around here-ish. And I think that's a good base. And you don't want to do them like pure color just all the way through, because of course there's going to be like dense clouds of matter. So it's not going to be like single uniform distribution of density. Those colors right at the dump. Yeah, that just, you know, I know what I like. And then to kind of highlight where I want these arms, because I want the arms to be a little bit green, I want to do something like this. And if I was seriously working on this for like, I don't know, like a client or something, I'd keep track better of the colors, but I'm just one with vibes for today. Is this a thing that I would like? Ooh, that is a pretty green. I'll bring this opacity down to like here. And I want to be very light with this because I don't want to overwhelm the blue. But I want to just give some shape to what I'm working with. And that already looks like it's too much, but I'll just change the opacity of the layer afterwards. And I want this tail to kind of come a little bit further. Yeah, that's way too bright. So I'm going to turn that down. And then you, what is that layer? You? No, you're that layer. You, I want to bring way down. Actually, I might want to remove that layer, but yeah, now that I have the shape, I'm just going to remove that layer. Like, even already, like, oh, we're getting something pretty. Okay, I did make that on a different layer. Perfect. And then I want to have a cluster around here a little bit more green because this is going to be the center of the galaxy. The shape is taking shape. We shaping out here. And then one of the tricks that I do, like, just for now, because I'm just getting the general shape right now, but one of the tricks that I like to do is I like to go behind here, and I will take, where's that brush? This brush. I'll take a, not pure white, but like a nice light white, bring the brush size very, very high up, and just lightly brush across the background to get more stars. These also might be a little too big. Let's go like here, just to get like some background stars to work with, because space is full of stars. It's a very big shock. It's also full of space. Did you know that space is full of space? But if you just get some base and like you want to make some part that's a little bit too dense, you want to make some parts a little more dense than others because some patches of space are more dense. And if I wanted to, I could also like take the idea of like the cosmic filaments, where like a bunch of galaxies are aligned along strings basically in the sky, and it's very, very pretty. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It is beautiful. If I take this opacity down, you can see like we have a nice back to work with, and if I go and do it again on a different layer with something like a little bigger brush, then I can go make some denser patches some places. I probably want to go to different angles so it doesn't look too uniform an angle here. Bring that opacity down a little. On another one, bring these like very down, and then yes, space is full of space. That's way too small. Let's go around here and then just start making little patches. Some little threads of stars. I mean, they're obviously not going to be like this uniform in density whenever you're working with actual stars, but you want your background to kind of look alive a little bit, I guess. Also, I'm just looking at stream. This is way more vibrant on my stream than it is on my tablet here. So you guys actually are probably seeing a lot more detail than I am, which is not a great thing, but I will adjust the colors afterwards so they look better on all of my screens. Also, my mouth is not tracking the best. I'll fix that later. Bring these down a little bit. And then let's group some of these to be backgrounds. Group them to be stars. Starts. Okay, cool. I guess I can't spell. Okay, and now here's where it gets really fun. I call this the just fuck around stage. I just take some random colors. Oh, hello, music. The music agrees with me. I just like to take some colors and then start making some little strings of stars in different places. Just kind of give little patches everywhere some life to them, I guess. Some variation. I'm choosing yellow here because it's a little bit in between of green and blue. I mean, I guess that's the opposite side, but whatever. You just want to liven up whatever is in between, because in between all these stars isn't just nothingness. There's actually some stuff there that's just not easy to see. And then this center I want to do something else with, but because usually I want to have like a very bright spot in the center here. It's all white and kind of emanates around. This music came in ready. It's bumping. But I can have some colors in here, and I don't really care what the colors are because they're just random little pieces. I don't know. Maybe you have like a little orange system. You got your little orange system here with a bunch of stars. Maybe you got like a big cloud of like orange matter around here somewhere. But the main thing that you want to keep in track is that whenever you're adding these things, these wisps, that they still follow the main shape of the galaxy, because it's kind of a weird thing to think about, because whenever you're doing a galaxy, you think like, oh, these tails are going out here because they're like kind of spitting it out. But what you really need to think about is that your galaxy is spinning, and that's why it makes the shape. So if you think about how a galaxy is actually moving, I mean, the galaxy isn't moving, I guess. Kind of weird way to think about it, but like this center here is spinning like this, and this outer part is also spinning like this. And because the center is spinning faster, this part moves closer with this part than this part does. His astrophysicists are going to start yelling about dark matter and stuff, and that the galaxies are spinning faster than they should be, but we don't care about that right now. Like every part of this galaxy is spinning. So if you think about like if this part of the galaxy was moving at the same speed as this part, then in 3 like units of movement here, you've moved from this angle, which is like approximately here, you move from there to here, while this one is out here. So if you keep doing that, what you end up getting is something that looks kind of like a shape that's like that. And that's why we get these big tails. And this is also, if you're looking at a galaxy from just one perspective like this, if you're looking at it from the side, sometimes you'll see galaxies have their big cluster in the center like here, and then they also have something that looks like this, because when it's spinning, it's not necessarily spinning in one direction. It could be influenced in spinning in 2 directions, because it could be spinning like this in this plane, but also like this in this plane. So, galaxies, okay, you're here for it. I know, I love science. Okay, but back to the cool pretty drawing. Let's do pretty drawing. The parts where we're like, you know what, science, we're taking a little backseat for now. And then I did like this brush too, because it kind of gave a little bit of like washing to some areas, but it's way too pressurized, so I'm going to bring that opacity down. I love refrigerators. Actually, no, I didn't want to bring size down, I want to bring opacity down. Some little touches here and there. And the thing about this is that you don't want to have these to be very obvious. These are touch-ups for everything. So if I were to just do like that, it's very obvious that that's part of, I mean, that actually kind of looks good. But like if I were to make this very dark and I was to like draw a line right here, it's very obvious that that is like a prominent feature of this, but we don't want these pieces to be like prominent. What we want to be prominent is this green part. So whenever I do the green part, I'll probably make that more like pop out. But these little touch-ups and everything, it's going to be very small little just sense to give the galaxy more life, I guess. And then these colors have been way too muted, so I'm going to add more. That's a pretty green. Let's go with that. And then here's where I can start making these more like directed ones. And these wisps, these give more structure to the galaxy. And then one thing that I like to do is like I like to go in between sometimes and add little wisps that kind of fragment off a little bit. And it just, I don't know how realistic these little fragmenting pieces are, because I mean that's a lot of motion there, but it does make everything look a little bit more alive. And even if you have like little wisps that come out here of the main color like this, there's stuff in there to kind of direct your eyes to be like, oh, this is moving, this is live. And then one thing that I do want to do before I continue here is I want to make the center way brighter. So I'm going to take this one and then, oh, I didn't save my big airbrush. No. Big airbrush. I'm going to favorite you. And then this is going to look weird for a second, but trust the process. That's not the color I was looking for. So very opaque. And take this down. And I'm going to add another layer on top of it that kind of goes a little bit wider, but it's a little bit lighter. And I'm just artificially creating kind of a gradient here. I could make an actual gradient, but And then these are behind, so they're going to be kind of muted colors. So I want to do one that's ahead of them. A little bit brighter. Towards the center more. Because I really want to accentuate the center. The center is going to be very, very bright and very vibrant and beautiful. And then do another one that's kind of like that, a little more. Oh, it's also very bright. Maybe I don't want to keep this one, but let's see how that looks. We can make that work. Fuck it. And I want to do a big dot in the middle because it's going to be very, very bright in the middle. Not that big. That's very white and very obvious. Nope, I do not like that. Let's do something more like you. You look like you, man. Yeah, this is gonna look so weird. Just trust the process. Yeah. Nah, I don't like that one. I need something that's like a very, very, very bright concentration in the middle and then kind of eases out a little bit more. But maybe if I use a different color gradient, that would work better. Nah, let's go back to making pretty stars. I like stars. Let's add a little bit of red here, but I want these to be very, very light because there's going to be contrasting a little bit. Am I in the right layer? Oh, I want this a little higher. And I want these to be basically like barely noticeable little wisps because I will make more dense pockets of colors in a little bit because I want there to be, I mean, this is mainly green and blue, but it's going to have some colors that like kind of pop it. This music is bumping. It's bumping. Okay. Let's get some other colors of stars in there. I want these to pop a little more, so let's do some more bright. It's like you. Make this a little bit bigger and opacity a little bit higher. Yeah, I want these to pop a little more. That good. And then I need to accentuate this tail because I want this to be a little bit wider up here. Let's go to you a little bit. And let's fill you in a little more. I think it's a little too dense over there. Let's get some here to balance that out. Yes, that's good. And I want these, looking at my other monitor here, those look a little bit too prominent, I guess. Let's go with down here again. Let's get my brush. And I don't remember the color, and now that's biting. Let's come back to bite. So we're gonna go with you. Actually, I want that in different new layer so I can adjust the opacity more. Just want to kind of like balance these out a little bit and give them more like pop here. And then when I come back through and I lower the opacity in these, it'll look like it spreads out a little bit more rather than just being so tight. I should also mention that like this is just me just fucking around. I don't really know what I'm like doing, but you know, this is just the kind of technique that I like for making kind of galaxies like this. And then, oh, I forgot one of the things that I love doing. Behind the galaxy, we want to have some little bits of like coloration that kind of put the galaxy in some framing, I guess. I am making art. Art is in the eye of the beholder and the maker, and I don't know, this isn't a real galaxy. Let's do... Oh, I had a technique that I did a long time ago that I really liked to make kind of like cloudy appearances. There's a specific brush that I liked. Was it you? I think it was you. No, that was not. No, that was too... Right, was it you? Yes, this was you. And if I take the opacity way down, as I make the size big. I'm definitely gonna change this a little bit. I can just like frame the galaxy in more of like a lively background a little bit, and then pull this down. Can we draw my home galaxy? Ooh, that would be very nice. I would like to do that. Ooh, so we got like a nice pink in the background. What should we do for another side color? Let's do like a nice light greenish. I think that would be a nice way to... Ew, I do not like that green. Nope. Go back. That is a gross green. The RGB green is gonna look weird. Oh no, this looks... It's kind of like... Bring that color down a little bit. That muted. Yeah. We're getting somewhere. A lot of this is just me just being like, this kind of looks good. This doesn't. This looks good. This doesn't. And then just going with whatever we feel like it works. And then I want to bring the size down a little bit more and bring the opacity up a little bit. And then start making some of those like threads that I was talking about. It's like, that's not what I wanted. This seems way too dark. Like that. I'm gonna try a different brush because this is a hard edge. Try something with a lot softer of an edge. Oh, maybe one of these stamp brushes will actually work pretty good for this. Let's try you. You seem like you're an interesting brush. Oh, that is perfect. That is perfect. I want to take that opacity way down though. Yes. This is exactly what I wanted. Give a little bit of touch in the background. Kind of break up the monotony of everything else. There's like a little bit like a lot of matter clusters around here. That would be very pretty. And then I want to contrast this like magenta-ish pink a little bit. Is orange going to be a weird color to have here? Let's see. I don't know. Let's try like a deep red. walks in with it a little bit, breaks it up a little more. And then I want it to actually like have some prominence back here. Not like prominence like star ejections, but like prominence like it just is prominent. This kind of works. I think I need to blend this area a little bit more for it to work better. And then I need to work on the edges. The edges actually exist. This is a piece that existed, and I'm taking a frame out of something that is in the universe. I'm not just containing this little box. Star ejections? Oh, like on Earth with the sun, we have the not solar flares, but like the sun, the surface isn't very smooth. Like it has these like arcs of fire and like I guess I think it's like magnetic ejections is what causes it, but it's like streams of like hydrogen burning, and they look like big arcs that like travel across the surface of the sun. I'm definitely gonna need to mute a little bit more of these, so let's get some more darkish blues to kind of bring this back in. And then we can like make this corner more of a blue area. Yeah, that works. Now we kind of have like a little bit of a framing of some coloring in the back here. I teach you about space, you teach me about Earth. Bring this down a little bit. And then I do want to make this a little bit more. Is this the layer that I'm working with? Yes, I want to bring that down. Way more. Yes. Okay, and then because this is just like filaments there, I kind of want to actually have some shaping to the actual space back there. So I am going to get some of these background colors and go very, very, very light in something that's like, this is kind of what I want. No, that's way too dense. That's a weird brush. What is this brush? That's cute. Oh, that's adorable. I want something that's a little more like... Yes, like this. But I want to go very, very, very light on this one, very big. It won't be the hard brush. It is very pretty. I think it would suit you very well. Whenever I make art of you, I'm going to use that brush. I think I'm gonna crop this image so that these corners don't get like too back in there. Also, this is in the front. I want this way further back. Yes, I want to come back. Okay, and then with this, I actually want to add a layer in between here. Right here, and then I want to make this blue gradient a little bit more, not abrupt, because like right here you see there's like an edge to this blue. I want it to fade out a little bit more. So let's try a gradient here, and I want to have a deep blue like that. That's not what I wanted. I want a radial. The other way? Where is this? No, don't reverse. A little bit bigger. And a little bit more. Is that adjusting my... That's too much, I think. Actually, if I bring it to here... Let's bring this down. Yeah, that can work. We'll work with that. Now this kind of blends a little bit more, kind of makes it feel like it's in place. And now we get to go with the fun part. Just going ham, making a bunch of stars. Let's do this brush again, because I really like this brush. That's not what I wanted to do. Just kind of give your background like something to stand on. So there's actually substance to this galaxy, and it's not just empty in between. You want a bunch of very, very, very little stars, and you even want to go on the outside a little bit, just because like, even though there's this glow, you don't want it to like mark specifically the edge of the galaxy, because there's not really an edge. It just kind of exists there, you know? It's just part of space. And then make this a little bigger here too. Have a little thin strand that's out here that's not very bright. Something over here. And then near the center, you want them to be way more dense, but not too dense. So I'm gonna have like some strands that go here, some strands that are right here, and in the center you want like a lot of stars. And you want the stars to like follow the shape of these tails, because this is where the reason they're so bright is because there's a lot of stars in there. Okay with how this looks. I think it could look better. We can just keep going. Let's do... add some popping colors. I'm gonna get some yellows in there. Like a little hot spot here, yellow perhaps. Right, or like that. Yeah, so now we got this like yellow patch of the galaxy. And we have like a little character for the galaxy. Like maybe this is like some civilization here that like, I mean, not one civilization. I mean, maybe, I guess maybe if they're very advanced, they could like take over this whole sector of the galaxy, and this can be like their arm. This can be like very, very bright emitters or something. Like they have some like Dyson spheres or to power very bright LEDs or something. I don't know. And then I want to kind of enhance the center of these. Let's go with smaller brush size. And then I want bigger opacity. Yeah, way bigger opacity. Let's make like 100 too much? No, 100 not too much. Let's go with you. Wisp out these a little bit more. This is the party section of the galaxy. There were lots of parties. They got big raves over there. Yeah, that's what I was missing. This tail like ended way too abruptly. I wanted to string out more. There we go. And same thing with this tail actually. I wanted to keep stringing out. This is where the dense part is, but it still exists. There's some stars there. Maybe the stars are lonely. You ever think about the stars? About how lonely they might be? You don't have any civilizations there to greet them every day, look up at them, be like, hello, thank you for providing light. Let's get some... I haven't done some cyan yet. Let's do some cyan stars. That'd be nice. We have these accenting a little bit over here, maybe? Galaxies are just Beyblades. Maybe we got the anti-party zone over here. These guys don't like the other side of the party, so what they do is they use their own types of parties, but they're different colored. So they like the cyans and the blues there. And this side likes the yellows one a little bit more. There's very different thoughts of what. It's kind of like break up these little areas a little bit more. Kind of accentuate the green because we still got this green in here. So like, where does this green come from? There's got to be some green in here doing something. These can be along the central axis too. Just more density of the stars in here. Kind of like have some meaning to the colors that you have in your galaxy. Because like, if this like, let's say like that we had a green galaxy here, but all the insides were like very purple, magenta, be like, where's that green come from? No. Maybe they have the Beyblades because they're lonely. They research Beyblade technology because they're like, I don't know what to do. So they self-assembled into a giant Beyblade. Let's add some, like, cloudy portions into the middle of this. Just gonna review a little bit. There was another brush that I used that was very, very good for clouds, and I can't find it again. It was a very, like, patchy bush brush. Maybe you. Let's see what you look like. Oh, that would be so good. I have to bring this down a little bit because it's going to be very, very, very bright. That pops way too much. Actually, let's just bring this opacity down. No, that's in the wrong layer. No. Take that back, Different layer, thank you. Oh wait, there's still some there. Different layer. Go down with the opacity here. Realize how crucial the brushes were to drawing. Yeah, it took me a long time to kind of understand why, but like, there's just some that kind of speak like, this is what this would feel like. Like, I would not want to draw each individual one of these strands here. That would be a nightmare. But I can focus more on being like, oh, what's the general shape of this, rather than being like, oh, I need to draw this specific gradient along this curve to get here. But I can be like, this feels more like this, and this is what I want to do. Excuse me. It's way too opaque. Maybe this party side has some, like, these magentas going on. That'd be very, very pretty. It's still very prominent. I don't know if I like that. Maybe mute it a little bit more, maybe. That could work. I'm struggling with these inner areas. What I want to, like, have there to make it pop more, but I don't want to pop too much because then it takes away from the actual structure of the arms. Maybe I'll thicken up the arms a little bit with some more gradients around the outside. Oh, I can do it over some of these other layers so that I can have it so it blends things so it's like behind some of the matter too. That would work. So like a deep green here. Thicken up this a little bit. Darker portion here. I'm not sure I 100% agree with this right now, but you know, we can make everything work as long as we have an idea of what we're kind of going for. We just keep doing it. If it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that kind of works. I'm not sold on it. But if we take the opacity down, yeah, kinda. It's glowing. Yeah, that's the kind of vibe that I want to go with these galaxies. I want it to be like it. I mean, it is just made of a bunch of lights, so like it's gotta like shine, sparkle a little bit. Cause like, let's see, can I bring in the galaxy another image that I have for reference to just kind of vibe with? Oh, let's bring in M94. Yeah. Copy this image. And your layer, not that layer. I'm gonna lose that one. Like this, like it's very just like it glows and it's like very vibrant. And like there's a lot of like the bright stars in the back here that I kind of want to emulate a little bit. So I'll get that in a little bit because those really make it feel like it has a presence. I love how this galaxy looks. It's one of my favorites. But you can even see here, like, it's not just blue. There's a bunch of like little magentas. There's like some greens in there. There's some reds. There's a little green patch over here and everything. There's a bunch of whites in there. These little wispy trails that I also want to try to get in there somehow. Yeah, the centers are bright. And it's not like even out here, like this is technically, you consider this part of the galaxy too. Like this galaxy is probably bigger than this entire picture, but we're just seeing like the densest parts that kind of bring everything together. I mean, like the density out here is probably just so low that it's like you can't really see anything, but yeah, you kind of want to like get a little bit. And then going back to mine, yeah, I can see the center is not as bright as I want it to be, so let's fix that. Let's do another gradient here, and I want like a pure white. Start off something a little more dense there, and then another one that's a lot wider out like this, but lower opacity, so it accentuates the first one. Like another lower opacity one, another one centered a little bit like there, and then on top of that's a lot wider like this, and then bring the opacity down, and then let's do I'm kind of liking that. Let me do another one. Kind of bring it out. Oh yeah, this is looking good. It's one thing I struggle with the gradients is like you gotta have like very harsh gradients. Like a lot of gradients are more like linear from like start to end, but you really want to have this curve where it's like it should follow like I guess kind of like inverse square. Like it should be very prominent in the middle, and then as it goes out, it quickly just fades out. Nope. Let's try another one that's like here. Actually bring that one down a little bit. Another one that's like essentially very bright like this. And then let's have one that's a little more wide. Like, oh, that's very bright. I wish I could make more elliptical ones so that I could actually like emulate more of the real structure, but I can, you know, it'll come together. This little bit. Yeah. I think I'm drawing a black hole just now. Oh no. Black holes are interesting because you can approach them in two ways. You can go more of like the artistic way, you can go more the scientific way. And if you go the scientific way, it gets complicated. But black holes are very interesting. I love looking at the accretion disks around a lot of black holes because they're kind of like mini galaxies a little bit. And like, I mean, a lot of galaxies have central black holes, like supermassive black holes in the center of them. But they're very interesting. Oh, the scientific way is, oh, let me get a picture of let me get a picture of a black hole. Let me get like a scientific picture of a black hole. Yeah, like so, like for example, you have these kinds of images where they're like source. Yes, you have these which are much more like artistic ones where they show like, oh, there's a big object in the middle and then there's like a little mini galaxy around them. Real black holes aren't like that, I guess. I mean, I guess physically they're like that, but real ones are a little bit more like oh, that's an animation. Whoa. That's pretty sick, actually. This is not gonna show up correctly. What is this gonna do? Is it actually gonna show? Yes, I would like to. That is... What the fuck is that? Let's get something more like this. If you were to actually see like a real black hole in real life, it would be something a little bit more like this. And this ring around here is not like a secondary ring around the black hole. This is the back of the black hole. Whenever you look at a black hole, you can pretty much see the entire way around it just because of the way that it bends light around. So this is like you're seeing the top of the disc in the front here. This is the top of the disc in the back, and this is the bottom of the disc in the back. So you can see both sides from one view, and it's super cool. But it's also very hard to wrap your head around because they're very interesting astrophysical objects. Anyway, back to this galaxy, which I haven't saved yet. Let's save this to... Save this here. Galaxy 1. Yeah, now we're not going to lose our work. Sorry to derail this drawing with my black hole. I like talking about all this stuff. You hit the autism button. I'm like, yes, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about it. Okay, now with this one, button smash. Oh yeah, you know how to press all my buttons. I know you do. Let's get some more of these wisps in the middle here because they're only in the background right now, and I don't like they're only in the background because they should be basically everywhere. Also, where's my first radiant here? I'm gonna guess it's here, so if it's not, oops. Quick group, was I not typing there that whole time? Radiant center. Sure, we'll spell it like that. Center. And we'll go underneath that, and then let's start making some of these wisps again. So I want a more like in between green and blue, something like I want something like this but brighter. Let's go like here, and then let's get our wispy brush again. Oh no, I didn't save that to my favorites. Which one was it? It was you were the wisp brush. Mistake. Yes. I'm gonna take this opacity down. Cyan, a little bit cyan. I guess what I am using is a cyan. I don't want it to be like exactly cyan because the blue is a lot darker and the green is lighter, so I don't know, cyan, I guess. Let's go. Where do I want to put this? I want to have it so it's like kind of fading in. I don't want to be on top of everything. So let's go right here. I'm gonna fill in everything that's going on here. That's way too prominent. It could be way lighter. One of the ways that I like to think about this kind of like thing is like galactic filaments, where it's just pockets of dense matter that are like strung together a little bit. Because like if you were to look at like I know I love this brush. If you look at like something even like a small scale right now, or like if you had some coffee and you put some milk in it and you swirled it around just one time, it wouldn't immediately become all of like that muted tan brownish color. You would have little pockets of like strung together parts where there's still milk and it hasn't completely mixed with the coffee yet. So like there's little parts of it that string together, and then as time goes on, then it becomes more and more. Like the entropy of the system increases, and then everything mixes together. But before that happens, then you have these like little strings, I guess. Is string the right word to use for this? I mean, I guess. But you have these little filaments of areas that are not fully distributed equally. And they kind of look a little bit like this. I like that. And then I want to have a little bit of a slightly different color, a little more green in between. Kind of fill those out a little bit. And then I want to... I wish I remembered how to use masking in Krita, because then I could do something I really would love to do, which is to make these filaments like fade out more as they go out. But I'll figure that out another time. That will be an interesting thing to mess with. let's do something that's like out there, you know, like white. That's gonna be very harsh. Let me take these down a little bit. And then the other thing that I don't want to forget is that we are making a galaxy, which means we have to have stars in here, and the stars are getting way too muted and faded, and this is very prominent. Wow, take that way down. Even further down, that's still very prominent. I think I like that. I'm going to take these other ones down a little bit too. We don't want to be like cluttering up being the main focus. The stars are the main focus. These are just to kind of set the stage for the stars. Speaking of stars, let's make some stars. I kind of want to make these a little bit more up here again. Let's have some stars that are kind of just like coming through, a little more patches that stick around. And I want to add a couple more colors of stars to this area too, because it does look a little bit too uniform right now, I think. Like this area right here has got nothing, but I think it should have some. It just shouldn't be as prevalent as everywhere else. Like it should be very, very, very light stars. Let's get some reds in there. Like very, very light ones that just string out a little bit. Like, I mean, I guess there wouldn't be really, maybe there would be just like patches of specifically red stars, but this is just to kind of break up the colors a little bit because my technique is not the best at making realistic specific stuff, so I'm kind of emulating it by giving some more colorful noise to break up what your eyes see specifically as one thing or another. And then one thing, actually, I'm looking at one of my reference pictures right now that they do is there's a little bit of like breaking up in between some of these star layers. So I'm going to go somewhere like right in here. I'm going to go black. And I'm going to go very, very light with this, but I want to like start making it seem like there's little pockets of nothingness in between there. And that is not where I want that to be, because that is not very visible. I'm going to change that opacity. That seems weird. Here, and then some stream here. Because who knows, maybe this part right here is just empty. There's just like nothing there. And then I actually kind of want to do this a little bit more airy. So let's do something like this. Oh, this is that weird brush. No, I don't want that one. No, you're gonna look too weird. Let's do something like you. Might take the opacity down, make the size a little bit. This, yeah, weird brush, big jump scare. Just kind of give like an area of nothingness to kind of let it breathe a little bit, make it feel like, oh, maybe there's a weird physics thing going on. It's kind of dense around here. Outline a little bit here. I'm gonna take the opacity down on this because it is a little bit obtrusive right now, but it kind of gives more like life to it, I guess. And you want your galaxies to kind of look lifelike, like this right here. Even this is too much. We'll go with that. That's fine. And then one thing I would like to do is I want to make more accented streaks on here. So let's do something like a tangerine. Let's see what tangerine looks like. Maybe not tangerine. That looks yucky. Do I like that? Do I like that? It's gonna be so weird. This might really mess everything. Here. No, that's not the size I wanted. No, this looks way too artificial. I want something way less dense than that. Do something like. Yes, this is what I want to do. Make little streaks and pockets here that kind of pop a little bit. More orange? You think it's more orange? Yeah. I'm gonna bring it faster down that a little bit. Yeah, I like it too. It's interesting. And then add some over to here too. One thing you want to avoid whenever you're making galaxies like this, I guess, is that you don't want it to be too monotonous. I guess you want to have things that like make you look at it and go like, wow, my eyes are looking everywhere, but also like you want to direct the eyes a little bit too. So like one of the images that I'm looking at has these very, very beautiful streaks that are mixed within, and it's of a real galaxy. So I want to kind of go with something that's a little bit like that. And I also want to make more of these little wisps that interconnect everything because they seem too spaced out, and I want the wisp to be way more prominent. So let's do some of these very light, almost white, basically. Let's get you again. That's going to be too spaced out. Dragging this along a little bit, kind of. Give it some feel like there's some more action going here. It's a weird balance because you got to balance it being like, ooh, is there too much going on? It's not enough going on? Because like, when you think about a galaxy is like billions of giant balls of hot plasma. So of course there's a lot going on. But then when you look at a galaxy, you don't see those giant balls of plasma. You see like this very smooth, structured feeling to it. So it's like you got to kind of balance a little bit like what you want to do. Do you want it to be like the more chaotic, like, wow, this is high energy, extremely dangerous, thick plasma that will kill you if you get too close? Or do you want it to be like, oh, this is a very beautiful, comforting thing? Because space is really like both, I guess. You have these little things that like just look beautiful and isolated, but then you also realize that like when you think about them in a large scale, they are terrifying. But it's in a very beautiful way, I think. Space is comforting. I think space is very, very comforting. It's also very terrifying. But it's very... There's a very distinct beauty to space, I think. Like, it's something that I can't find the beauty in literally anything else, because nothing kind of like has that galactic scale to it. It's like, you are an observer of this hyper natural, very structured yet chaotic thing that's like, it's just beautiful. It's the only word that I really have for it. But like, this is something you have no control over. Nobody that you know ever is going to be able to actually disrupt this thing that is happening. It is completely outside of your control and everybody's control. And yet it's just... I hate to keep using the word, but beautiful. Like, when you think of, like, yourself in the context of, like, the billions of people on Earth, you could change the fate of any single person. Like, that's a thing you could do. But when you look in the sky and you look at a galaxy, you can't change that. Nothing is going to change that. That's going to be there with or without you. It has been there. Like, when you look at those galaxies out there, like, those have been there for tens of thousands, millions, billions of years. So barren is pretty sad that no one can see you. I know. It's... If you think about it from a very isolating angle where it's like nothing matters, then it's very kind of depressing a little bit, but it's kind of this thing like we're in this universe, we're part of it, and we're just as important as these galaxies. We're equally all just this matter that's in this big space. I'm ranting a lot while I draw more of these little individual stars. I mean, I'm not drawing individual stars, not that crazy, but just things to make everything kind of fill out a little bit more, because it's just, you don't want it to be too artificial. You want it to feel, I think about like drawing water. Like drawing water, you don't want it to just be like one hunk of blue. Like it's got so many natural gradients in it. These comforting, these beautiful things just being, no one needs to see them. Like serve no matter what. I know what? I like how you think, Scar. This doesn't need you to see how beautiful it is, but it's gonna be beautiful anyway. Man, this is looking so much better already. It's... Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier with like this gradient here isn't really like the edge of the galaxy. Like there's still billions and billions of stars that are outside the edge here. But it's just that the density is so high here and all the matter that's in here that like it's what you kind of see. But there's still stuff back there. It's not like there's nothing. And you kind of want to like rough it up just a little bit, but keep some structure that makes everything feel just right. So I want to go under that actually, and I want to have this white here, and then I want to do, let's do a brush that's like kind of stringy, like this looks stringy. That's very, very harsh stringy. I don't want that one. There's a brush that was more stringy that I like. Let's do something like an actual brush. That would make sense. Yeah, I like that. I want to keep it a little bit bigger size maybe, but way, way lower opacity. I want to touch up parts. Not really like that. No. It's way too harsh. Maybe I don't want this one. Maybe I want something a little more like... let's be like this. What is this one? Nah, it's not stringy. Something stringy. Something like... what's this one to look like? Oh, too stringy. Nope, don't like that. Of course, I could do the individual strings myself, but... What are you? That's not what I want at all. How about... Ooh, what's this one? This is more of like a washed one. Nah, there's more painting. I guess I can individually do the strings. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. But I just want it to be too ominous. Looks like I added so much. This is what me going brainless mode and just yapping while I just make art does. No, that's way too prominent. I want this to be very subtle. Like little patches that kind of give shape, not define too much. Yeah, but this washes out too much. Maybe if I don't use white. Yeah, let's not use white. Also, that didn't even realize there was a thing on the side there. That would have been nice to know. Let's use something that's bright, not white. So let's do... You know what? Fuck it. Let's go for a very, very bright, like magenta pink. This still looks very washed out. Let's go for a yellow. Yellow will be fun. Lemon yellow. That's what this color is called. Yeah, and like there's no, you don't have to think about too much about like what is actually going on here, but you know, there's just some wisps that have some structure. Like this area here seems way too organized, so I want to break that up by having something to like break up the feeling a little bit. Like anywhere that I see that's like, this feels too uniform, kind of break it up, give it some feeling, some passion. And then let's go more greens, very like bright green. Yeah, and then we can go with like, is that the same layer? Fuck it. Okay. These, because I'm using more greens, I can also kind of do more of these wisps too, which is nice. And I can have some wisps that go in here and like accentuate more of this inner curve, because it doesn't look like it's curving too much in the center. It's more like waving, I guess. I don't know. I want to make this brighter though. Let's go something more like that. Yeah. The thing I want to avoid is making it too artificial. I don't want to cover that there because I like this little patch here that's there. That strand is a little too much. A little bit less on that strand, something more like this. And then we get to do one of my favorite brushes to mess with, if I can find it again, because it's a very, very pretty brush. This one, yes, I found it. This one just literally makes stars. But if emote, ooh, that'd be fun to do. I'll think about it. I do need to make emotes. They'll be fun to mess with. Okay, so these are gonna be something that we want to mess with in a different capacity. So something way down here, I think. These are gonna be more like, and let's do kind of like that, what that picture was. We'll have like more magenta-ish, and then we'll have like the opacity down, but I want these big so that it can do like individual stars. Can we get individual ones? These are going to look very prominent for now, but gonna very, very much mute these so that they don't pop out as much. So go way down back like this. Okay, like you can barely notice them, but they're kind of there and they pop a little bit. Oh, I didn't even see the message about the zoomed out version in the top right. Yeah. I like this little preview. I mean, I kind of zoomed out already because I see this one here, but like it looks interesting there. It actually looks a lot more angular than I expected it to. That's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Although I do feel like it should. This part right here looks a little bit too flat, I think. So do something a little more like here-ish. Somewhere like those layers. Hello, layers. Here we go. Let's get some deep black. Actually, we'll go with a very, very dark blue. That's like almost black. Midnight blue. That sounds perfect. Reminds you of something? Ooh. Maybe I'm accidentally taking inspiration from something I have no idea. And let's wisp out this little area. I'm gonna make it very dark because I'm gonna pull this back a little bit. Yeah, that makes that way, way, way less angular there. And then bring down the opacity a little bit. somewhere like around there. That's very noticeable though. I don't know about that. Go with more like, just spread that out a little bit more. Maybe the exact zone doesn't mind you of the Zonai from Zelda. Ooh. Ooh, yes it does. The Zonai text. I know what you mean. And let's try to redarken this part here again. I'm gonna focus it a little bit more. That's too much. I don't know. Actually, that one was fine. Just pull that one back a little bit. Not that one. This one. Back just a little bit. That one. Yes. Okay. And then I want to do some more individual things. So, not... Actually, that's fine. Yeah, we'll do that there. More purple stars going on. Yeah, purple stars in the middle. I think it kind of follows along in here. Here. I shape it so that like it doesn't just look like a big homogeneous blob, but it's like we want to accentuate the wispiness of everything because galaxies are very wispy. Maybe a little bit too much purple. I think I need to add more green to this, actually. Let's do more greens. The greens are becoming too muted. Let's bring this opacity up. Start layering some more greens onto here. Oh, yeah, I do know what you mean. The shrines, the shrine spirals. Yeah. Those are... That's a good idea. I kind of want to draw those sometime. That'd be kind of fun practice to get more of my, like, shininess practice, I guess, and get used to more of these tools. Yeah, it's around the same colors. I mean, I guess there's a little less blue in the Zelda ones, but it's definitely... This green is very... It reminds me a lot of it. Let's get some more D's, more D's. And then I also want to update the background a little bit. Not the background, but the back, like vibes of the galaxy. Let's go with a little bit more dark blues again. Kind of like accentuate the darkness in the center one. I'm gonna take this down and get to right after because this is very, very, very prominent. Bring that down. And yeah, it looks like there's like accents and everything now. It's I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. You got accenting colors that kind of like pull the galaxy into shape back and again. So it's like you still have areas to focus your eyes, although that was a little too much. Let me pull that back again. Nope, that's too little. I'm noticing the colors that show up on my screen and the colors that show up on the stream are different. I'll put it that way. Like the colors in the stream are very odd. I wonder if that's what it's gonna look like whenever I use these elements. And let's go somewhere in the middle, and then make a little bit more of like a... I want them more like green, light green. All this green, yeah. Get these shapes in there more. Find the center axis again, and then when we pull that back, get more of a structured shape. Kinda. I don't know. Let's see. What does it look like with it? Without it. Yeah, it accentuates a little more. So every time I add more to that, I need to add more to the stars that appear, because then they mute the stars. We get a nice back and forth between too much and too little. Let's add, make this a little bit bigger. Oh, we can add some big stars in there too. That would actually be nice. Pick up the size variation of everything. It's coming. It's coming along. I like it. I think me working with a higher resolution is kind of messing it up a little bit, because I can get away with a lot more when I do it lower resolution, but I wanted this to be a high resolution so I can use it for like backgrounds for my streams and my channels and everything. I think it'd be nice. Look at these whites here. This center part here, it's really kind of overpowering a little bit. Let me shrink. Oh, I can do. Well, that's not going to do much. It's a circle. If I shrink it though, and do a little rotation, then I can replace it back here, widen it and recenter it, and then it follows the shape a little bit more. Rotate. Yeah, that feels a lot better. And then when I do this, there we go. Now it's got more of an accent in the middle. I mean, I'm not 100% sold on it, but you know what? We can work with it. I think what will actually help a little bit is sometimes when you see galaxies, you see like this, like, I'm gonna have to draw this shape. It's gonna look weird. No, not transform. I want to draw. Let me draw. Let me draw. Let me draw. They've got this, like, you got the galaxy like this, and it's like blah, 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 and then they've got this like U around them that looks like this. It's very, very, very subtle, but it's very pretty. I want to see if I can do kind of like that. I wonder if I can do that just with the brushes, or if I'm gonna need to get back into making gradients, because gradients are hard. But usually this is like, you see this a lot in artistic renderings of galaxies, like in Mario Galaxy. They have this where like they have the planet and they have this aura behind it. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's very nice. Let's try to... Ooh, where am I? It's like usually very, very, very prominent and bright down the middle, and then it kind of goes around the galaxy a little bit. And you see it come up the other end, it kind of like rejoins on the back. Very, very bright in the middle, and it kind of gets a little bit lighter as it goes to the side. I want to keep the middle very, very bright. Take this way down. And then when we look at it, oops, let me drag this please. Then you kind of get this like kind of vibe. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I don't know what actually causes that effect visually. I don't know if it's like a lensing thing or if it's actually like something that really does exist, but it's very stylized and I like it. I am gonna add another layer of it though, something more along the center that really, really highlights the center. And then when I pull this back, then it's gonna really bring the center into focus. And then if I add another one, just like literally the center, and I pull that back, I'm gonna need to pull that back way more. Yeah, then we get a little bit of focus in there. It's moving. don't see it, but that's really cool if you see that. I didn't intend for that, but that's cool. And then because of this, and I'm adding this background here, I want to actually add another white gradient underneath all of this. Whoa! That's very bright. I'm gonna bring that back a lot. Yeah, we can go with something like that. That'll work. There's something off about this, and I don't exactly know what is off about it. I'm gonna try to pull this gradient back here. Lower. See if this is what's actually throwing me off. I do like that. I'm gonna keep it like that. That's good. Damn, where did I put those? These? No. These three. No! I'm gonna group you all. Quick group. And call you Shiny. Shiny, shiny. Shiny. Yeah. And then with you, I'm gonna bring you down even more because it's a little distracting. Just want it to be subtle enough that it's there, but it's not overpowering. And same with you, I want to bring you down a little bit too. You know what? You want me to type a number? Fine, I'll type a number. Let's give you 4. You'll work with 4. And there's something not quite right about this. I'm not feeling too much. What am I not feeling about this? Let's try to add... No, bring that back. Some very bright greens like this, and I want to add more of the star feeling with them, so let's get this brush, and I want to bring you... Whoa, that's a gradient. Is this what I'm missing? Is this what it is? You got nom nom, oh yeah. What you eating? How many souls are in that food box? This isn't exactly what I think I'm missing. It is missing something, and I don't know what the thing I'm missing is. Let's do some like filaments that are like very pretty harsh like this. That's very harsh, not like that. No, this is too much like. I want harsh, but I don't want harsh. Does that make any sense to anybody? It's too harsh. I want it to like fade out on the sides a little bit harsher. Or not harsher, but like a little more dramatically. Chicken and rice, not enough souls. Yeah, I think that people should be giving you more souls so you can eat more and you can always be full. Oh, that's really harsh. If I like, I'm very, very careful with these, I may be able to get away with doing something with these. Like very specifically outline a structure in the middle here. I have to be very careful with this because if I don't do this right, it's going to look very weird. You know what I do want to try, actually? If I put everything in here in group, galaxy, and then I want to add a... Where's the thing? I want to add a mask. How do I add a mask? I need to know how to do this. Where do I add masks? Add mask. I'm gonna add a filter mask, I think. No, not a blur. Blur is not right. I want artistic. I want not pixelize. I want to adjust blur balance. Is that what I want to do? No, I'm gonna do. Whoa! Not what I was going for. Splatoon type B. Oh yeah, we got that. Boom. I want to adjust the curves. Can I do? Yes, I can do the curves. Okay, I want to do lightness, and I want to adjust. Whoa, not like that. Whoa, take that node out. I don't think you guys can see what I am actually working with here. That looks bonky. But I want these low ones to be very low, and I want the high ones to be high. How do I... no, stop it, stop it. Bad computer. Computer doesn't do what I wanted to do. I want to pull these high ones up higher. These low ones lower, but I don't want to like something around a little bit like that. No, much there. Whoa. Whoa, 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 what's going on there? This is one of those moments where on my computer and on my screen they look very different, because one of them I kind of like how it looks, the other one I don't like how it looks at all. Let's not do that one. Oh, I can change the exposure of it. Ooh. Look at that. I get a poof. Just the highlights a little bit. Let's do... the highlight. Which one looks better? It looks really good on my screen, and then on my stream it looked like poo-poo. Deploying flashbang. What does this do? Whoa. Whoa! Now that's a completely different galaxy. This looks like you're entering the wormhole. What's this do? What's this do? Whoa! These are cool. I've never messed with these before. These are interesting. I need to learn how to use all of these. Oh, that was really bright. It's very bright. I don't want that. No, bring my color back. Bring it back, please. This is very interesting. I've never messed with some of these before, but I don't like any of them, so I'm not gonna add them. Raw dog in this. I was trying to make the bright ones pop brighter, and then the dark ones like stuff do a little bit darker, but there's not like a very easy specific contrast one that I can mess with. That I know that. Sorry, that I'll know what I'm actually doing. Are they filters? Yeah, they're color masks is what Krita calls them, which I guess they also have filters in there too. But I don't know how to use most of them, so I need to figure that out because I don't know what I'm doing with them. It's strange. I feel like it's good, but it's missing something, and I don't know what it's missing. I think I'm gonna try something stupid here. And if this ends up looking stupid, I'll know it was a stupid idea. That looks stupid. Add some more wisps into the middle to make it have more of like a popping shape. Actually, you know what I could do? In the middle, I could darken it a little bit more. That would probably be pretty good. If I get more of a... we could try this wispy one a little bit more. Like separate a section out here that makes it be like, oh yeah, there's something going on here. And if we separate all the way out, I think if I do that the other side too, then it will kind of work. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a balance to work with. Pull that back. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot more. I can kind of define that a little bit more so that I can... It's more the cutoff, I guess. And then it's like kind of manually shaping the galaxy after the fact. A bit. I think I may be thinking a little bit too much now, and that's going to be to my detriment, but whatever. Revibe. I guess I should actually be doing this from outside in because it's not. This is like negative space, not positive space. Didn't listen to my own advice. That's what I'm gonna do with that. That'll give me more of the keeping of the wisps. And then this is gonna be a little bit too dark there. Pull that back. Maybe get more definition to our galaxy. Artificial. You are so cool. Oh yeah. I do like this little accent that I have here. Let me try some more accenting. Maybe you'll make things pop more. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Let's try it with this brush. I keep saying the most important thing is not think too much about it, and then I think too much about it, and I'm like, doesn't look good. But I do, when I pull this back, I think I'm gonna like it. So I can keep it a little more prominent. That wasn't that bad. And it looks so weird on stream. I don't know why it looks so weird on stream. That kind of works. And then if I do a little bit smaller version of it, and I can accent those. Oops. Did I make another layer? I did not. I can accent these a little bit more. That back. kind of works. I think I can make that work. Let's try with more like very bright greens. I want my greens back. Not that accent's too much. Put a strip back there. Get a little strip going through here, and then one through here. It'll be nice. And I need to remember to keep these like fluffy, because the more fluffy they feel, the less defined they are. The less defined they are, the more natural they feel. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's working. I think I like that. Now I'm gonna add some of the fuck off colors, just random shit, just going ham, going everywhere. Got a streak there, streak there, streak there, streak there, streak there. Let's get some like bright oranges in there. That's not a good orange. Some of you in there, you in there, you. You, put it back a little bit, and then let's get some I like some pinks, nice pinks in there. Oops. Make sure that's on a different layer. Pinks, that's not very. That's pink. There we go. There's some pinks in there. Make the center feel like it's more actually expanding a little bit. Back. Oh, turbo mode. Yeah, we're going turbo mode now. We got this. We got this. And let's get some. What colors am I not thinking of? We can add some yellows in there. I think some yellows nice. Because we got some yellows in there, but not like defined yellows. We can make these a little bit smaller though. And then more opaque. Don't want that. That's not. The center part. That was not the carpet on it. The center part needs to have a little more spin to it, because right now it just feels like it's emanating but not spinning. I want it to spin. Spin would be nice. I think I turned this around a little bit. I'm liking how this is looking. Add more of this green again. Kind of break up this like yellows, but whoa, what was that? I'm gonna break up this yellow spot here because it's a little bit too dense, and then we can kind of give this center some more to work with. More structure in the middle, that'd be nice. Maybe just get some random strings going. Doesn't need to make sense, it just needs to break up what your eyes are seeing. Like that yellow, it's still very prominent there, so I'm gonna make it up a little bit more. That made it more yellow. I'm gonna add some blues to it. That was the same layer. Oops. That made it really weird. I don't know. Purples to it. Maybe that purple will take out the yellow and overpower it a little bit. Make it not as prominent of a yellow, but more like a yellow that kind of seeps into everything. I can go a little dark with this purple. So that's nice. I do want to have like a very bright green strip that kind of like encompasses everything, but this might be going a little overboard. A little bit. I think it's just because I'm focusing on it and I can see that green. I think if I bring that down, actually, it'll be better. was not the layer that I wanted. Where did my green layer go? Here we go. And then I bring that up a little bit. Yeah, and then it's underneath everything, and that kind of works better. Subtle piss. Got piss on the drawing. Let's do... I really, really like this section right here. It's like, it's the perfect, like, density. Maybe I'll do a bigger brush here. Opaque. Add a layer here. Like, really, really accentuate that green. So I really want that green to pop through. Pull this back. Get a little more of that green. Now that middle green is popping too much, so I'm going to bring that down. This one is popping too much. Is it this one? What is this one? That one's fine. This one I want to bring down. And this one. Wait, is it that one? This is the one. I'm going to bring you down. I'm noticing too much of you. And now I want to start accenting with some whites. Get like let's get some white there. Why is that any different than regular white? I don't know. That's too big. I want like very, very subtle accenting like this, and like an accent up here. I'm gonna make this part more prominent here. Yeah, I don't like that part. Like that. And then I gotta put some more stars back because the stars are getting too muted now. Go above more. And then we'll go a lot smaller. Oops, wrong layer. That is very tiny. I didn't want that tiny. It's too big. Let's go like 30. 20, 30, somewhere there. Go back some of this space. And then some of this, some of this. And then pull that back. Did I click a different layer? Where's that? There we go. I want that to be somewhere right there. I actually really like this. This is looking really good. And then in the center here, I want to make more of this filament. So let me get my filament brush, and I still haven't saved that brush. Let's save that. One of my favorites. Yeah, and then let's add some filament to the center here. Be sure to be very sparing with it. I like it. I think I'm gonna call that the piece. Oops, not that. I wanted to add a layer on top of here. And then I can add a signature. I've been thinking about what I wanted to make my signature for a while now. Let's try an actual pen. I guess that's not really a pen, but you know. Yeah, that'll work for me. And then let's see if I can get what I wanted to do for my signature. Because should I make it? What color should I make my signature? Probably like some dark greenish. But I wanted to do something like. No, that's it's like a Q with a tail. I gotta practice making it look better because it looks a little bit odd. Let me just stabilize. Maybe stabilize will help me here. That looks weird. Let me try from the outside first. Maybe that'll. Kind of works. But I don't want to do it in dark green because that looks a little bit weird. Let me, you know what? I'm going to do my signature in stars. Make that stars again. Whoop. Maybe let's hit that. Like that kind of works, and then I can be like yeah. Yeah, I'll do the side top here, and up like that. There's my signature. It's my piece. Yeah, I did Galaxy. I'll refine my signature at some point in the future. Maybe I could actually make like a real watermark that I just put over my images. But I like this. POV Nemesis. Stars. I like it. I had to trust the process a little bit. There's a couple of times in that piece where I was like, fuck, it's not gonna work. That's not gonna be good. But you know what? It worked out in the end, and I like it. So I think I'll be using this for some of my like backgrounds for some banners and stuff. I think it'll look nice. It's good to practice too, to kind of get it like refine my process of like what I do like, what I don't like. I do like this background, the like cloudy, multicolored background. It's very nice. I need to work on these filaments a little bit more. The densely packed ones are kind of hard to do. I think I like the more like sparse ones where it's like just a flow on the outside, and then there's like a little bit of loose structure to it, rather than just being like, this is the line, this is the line you gotta follow. But yeah, thank you for everybody who came out to watch. And yes, as Moobot said, if you enjoyed, then consider following, because I will be doing more streams in the future. Definitely more art streams, but I'll also be doing stuff like in some games, doing some collabs with Scar, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, if you enjoyed, then thank you for coming out, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.